It's the first home opener of the 2025 season for your Michigan Panthers, and we're going to tell you all about it here tonight on Michigan Panthers football. So, man, I'll be there tomorrow. We're going to be covering the game and taking it all in. Get down there, Ford Field in Detroit. It's like $20 to get in. Just spare the money, get down there, and come enjoy the game. I'm going to try to walk around and meet as many people as I can, have some fun. Let's get this crowd energized. Let's get this team into it. Let's take home the W, right? Week 2, UFL kickoff. Let's discuss it right now. So Friday night is going to be an exciting night for everybody, especially back home for the Michigan Panthers in this conference clash now with the Stallions. So Michigan Panthers will host the Birmingham Stallions tomorrow night in what is a rematch of last season, not once, but 3 times. So what happened last year? The Birmingham Stallions, they put it to us, man. They beat the Michigan Panthers not once, not twice, but 3 times. And every match came down to the wire. I mean, these are great games. As Michigan was very competitive throughout the entire season, especially in these games. Now, a missed field goal in week 10. Oh, Jake Bates, it's like one of the very few, buddy. But followed up by blowing a 15-point lead in the playoffs, man. Led to the Stallions hanging on for the victory. What could have been last year for the Michigan Panthers, right? What could have been? Sounds eerily similar to the Detroit Lions. I'm not crying. To open up the UFL season, the Michigan Panthers took firm control last week. His conference matchup, they took down the Showboats. The Showboats were just not showboating. But I tell you who was, and that was the Michigan Panthers last week. They efficiently took care of the Showboats. Now, on Birmingham's side, they were upset by the DC Defenders, so they're coming into this week 0-1. Michigan Panthers 1-0. Look, all sorts of stuff's going to be happening tomorrow night, which hopefully includes a Michigan Panthers win. So let's take a look at some of the key factors of this matchup and what we can expect from Michigan and Birmingham tomorrow night. Now, quarterback play for the Panthers. We can probably expect to see both Bryce Perkins and Danny Etling in action. Now, while Bryce will be the starter, Mike Nolan has been very keen on playing both Perkins and Etling when the two are active. So Perkins really showcased what he can do this past week. Even though he wasn't active the whole game, Bryce completed 16 of 19 passes. I mean, that is really efficient. Great completion rate. He threw for 163 yards and a TD in last week's game. He also made an impact on the ground. Dazzling, razzling around, rushing touchdown, put Michigan in front early. And what a run it was. I mean, he broke a couple of tackles on his way to the end zone. While healthy, though, Bryce and the Stallions will have their work cut out tomorrow night, especially in against a team that we just haven't been able to beat. So, obviously, Mr. Perkins here, man on a mission last week, going to have to do it again this week. On the Birmingham side, Alex McGough, not Jared Goff, Alex McGough is coming off arguably his worst performance in spring football history. Not just his career, spring football history. Now, Alex looked very uncomfortable last week. Matter of fact, all afternoon against the DC Defenders with the constant pressure in his face. He got rattled very early in this game, started making some mistakes. The second half was nothing short of a disaster. Truthfully, the only thing that Alex did well was run the football, which hopefully the Michigan Panthers defense up front is going to be able to shut that down tomorrow night. Now, Michigan's tendencies to stay put with a spy on mobile quarterbacks has been fairly consistent. So it might be a little bit more difficult for Mr. McGough to run around. Now, with that in mind, McGough is one of the top quarterbacks that we have ever seen in spring football. So he hadn't started in a pro football game in almost 2 years prior to Sunday's UFL debut. So you know what? He's probably just knocking off the rust. So let's not take this kid lightly. It's going to take him a little bit of time to kind of get readjusted, reacclimated to playing football again, especially to the speed of the game, which, is a few notches down, of the NFL. But, man, these guys can still play and play at a high level, right? Especially with the uptick in talent compared to just a couple of, a season ago, right? Now, McGough is struggling against a fierce Michigan defense. That's what I'm going to expect. Don't be surprised if he is struggling that Matt Corral enters the game at some point. Standout playmakers, well, the Michigan Panthers feature no shortage of offensive talent. Now, their wide receiver room might be one of the best in the UFL. Marcus Sims and Cielci Mariner have returned, leading the way for an organization that has been much more consistent offensively over the last season. Samson Nakua, yes, that is Samson Nakua, one of the older brother, I believe, of Puka Nakua, has also seen an increased role for this squad last week, getting some action. Now, on the ground, Matt Colburn and Nate McCrary will get the nod tomorrow night, are expected to lead the charge once again. I'd have to say that the RPO is alive and well for the Michigan Panthers, and they have plenty of options available. Now, Malik Turner is a name to watch this week. He recorded 5 catches, 40 yards against Memphis last week, but is someone who was talked very highly of by the Michigan coaches. So watch for him to have a breakout game against the Stallions tomorrow night. Defense, obviously, that allows plenty of short to mid-range completions. This guy has got plenty of speed. He can take it the distance. On Birmingham's side, though, their playmakers didn't get the ball in their hands often enough. So let's hope that that remains the same this week with this Michigan Panthers defense getting their hands in the way. Now, simply because of this dominant DC defense last week, that said, the injury to LaMichael Petway, I would say that you're going to be looking for Jace Sternberger to probably take more of the starting reps at tight end. Now, the former all-UFL playmaker wasn't utilized much in week 1, but should see a heavier workload here in week 2 and moving forward. Now, the battle is always won in the trenches. I think that that's reigned true at any level of football. I don't care if it's from Pee Wee to the pros. It's got to be won in the trenches. Now, last year when these teams played, one of Michigan's downfalls was their offensive line group. In this week 2, E.J. Perry was absolutely blasted all day long, allowing the Stallions to hang on for the win. So, I'm sorry, in week 2 of last year. Now, week 10 told a similar story last season, where Michigan's offensive line committed multiple backbreaking penalties, which obviously cost the team a lot of touchdowns and ultimately cost them the game. Can't happen. You've got to play smart football. Michigan Panthers, got to have your head in the game on Friday night. However, the UFL's opening weekend of action this year, Michigan's offensive line played very well. Ryan Nelson and Cole Cabral posted some of the top PFF grades. That's right, PFF does grade these teams out of any lineman in the league. That is a huge step up from just a season ago. Now, Michigan established a solid offense throughout the day against Memphis, largely due to the effort of the guys up front. Really looking forward to the offensive line tomorrow night. If they can hold, true like they did last week, I think that this is going to be a great game and get one on the ground. Now, meanwhile, the Stallions were a little bit dysfunctional up front last week. They allowed 8 sacks with McGough running for his life pretty much most of the day. Like I said earlier, about the only thing he did right was run the ball. But he typically ended up running right into, a group of guys ready to sack the crap out of him. Now, Deontay Brown and Christian DiLauro, pronounce that name terribly, are a couple of guys that really struggled. In the entire left side of the line was really subpar at best. So look for the Michigan Panthers to take advantage of that. Now, if Birmingham can't get their offensive line sorted out, it could spell trouble for them early in this game, and it could be a tough sled ahead, especially after tomorrow night. So I don't look for that to get any easier for them in their schedule that they have upcoming either. Michigan has one of the top defensive lines in the UFL, and they saw quite a bit of success this past weekend in their first game. So taking a look back at last season, the Birmingham Stallions and the Michigan Panthers are very familiar with each other. Interestingly enough, though, the Stallions are 5-0 against Michigan. In modern history, that is a number that is going to get snapped tomorrow night. I promise you, your Michigan Panthers are going to be victorious on Friday night. Is the night. So, let's take a look at our depth charts for the game tomorrow night. Okay, here we go. Alex McGough, obviously, is your quarterback for the Birmingham Stallions. We'll follow that up with left tackle Christian DiLauro, left guard Deontay Brown, center Cole Schneider, right guard Barry Wesley, right tackle Armani Taylor P, Running back Ricky Pearson Jr., tight end Jay Sternberg, wide receiver Deion Kane, wide receiver number 2 Davion Davis, wide receiver number 3 Jalen Camp. On the defensive side for the Michigan Panthers, you have Rondell Carter, Walter Palmore, Garrett Marino, Braylon Speaks. Look for him to have a big game tomorrow night. Noah Dawkins, he's your will side linebacker. Frank Ginda, he's your middle linebacker. And defensive back, Kedrick Whitehead Jr., cornerback, Kenny H. Lovely, and free safety, Arnold Tarpley, strong safety, Kai Nakua, that's that other brother of Mr. Puka Nakua, and cornerback, Adonis Alexander. Defensive backs for Michigan Panthers looked pretty solid last week in containing throughout the game. Birmingham Stallions defense starts it off with Ronnie Perkins, defensive end, Perian Winfrey, defensive tackle, Carlos Davis, defensive tackle, and defensive end, Bradley Ane. Linebacker, Kayaba Tezino, linebacker, Tay Crowder, cornerback, Mario Goodrich, corner 2 is Daniel Issam, free safety, Trey Norwood, strong safety, AJ Thomas, and cornerback, Mr. Steven Gilmore, very familiar name. Michigan Panthers offense, at quarterback, Bryce Perkins backing him up and more than likely going to get in the game tomorrow night, Danny Etling, left tackle, Ryan Nelson, left guard, Jake Burton, center, Noah Johnson, right guard, Cole Cabral, right tackle, Chim Okafor, and running back, Nate McCrary. Tight end, Gunnar Oaks, wide receiver, Marcus Sims, wide receiver 2, COC Mariner, wide receiver 3, Malik Turner. At the end of the day, look, this is going to be a fun game tomorrow night. I really don't have a score prediction for you. All I can say is Michigan Panthers are going to snap this streak tomorrow night. I'm not going to put the score prediction out because every time I do that, something doesn't go right. So no score prediction for me today, but I am going to take the Panthers, and I am going to take them big by 9 tomorrow night, Friday night, 8 p.m., Ford Field. We'll see you there. Take care.